Hey everybody, this is Brian from winningwithcredit.com. And if you're following along, this is a video series that I'm making that coincides with a book I wrote, Winning with Credit. And you can download the first half of the book for absolutely free over at my website, winningwithcredit.com. If you are following along, you know we are ready to start firing our first shots of defense in getting some old bad junk off of your credit. So let's begin in just a sec. Okay, so now let's really dive in. So, looking at the bad items, and again, we're either going to shake them off, negotiate them off, or wait them off. Let's decide which is which. Okay, now, first of all, if any of your items are federal student loans or tax liens, so something involving the government, we're actually going to treat those a little differently, and I'm going to have my own video just on that. So sit tight on that. What I want to talk about are all the consumer things like credit cards that have fallen into collections, things like that. Okay. So the first thing we want to do in looking at those run-of-the-mill bad items is look at how old they are. Take a look at the last activity. You can usually see that by just simply looking at the payment history on the credit item itself, which if you want to go back to the previous video about how to read your credit report after you pull it, that might be helpful. Every credit report issuer is a little different in how they lay it out, but basically if you are seeing an item that is coming up on 7 years old that is just dead and, sleeping dogs let them lie kind of thing. If it's 5, 6 years old, it doesn't have long to live before it just falls off naturally. We may want to just leave it alone. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't actually owe the money. I'm just talking about, is it going to be on your credit much longer? So before we start doing anything else, okay, just see how old these items are as far as last activity. It doesn't mean you have the account up to 7 years. It means the last activity. So when it crashed and burned, how long has the wreckage just been sitting there? If it's coming up on 7 years, consider just letting it go away. Now, moving on, let's assume you have some items that are not close to 7 years and they're really stinking up your credit. So the first thing we want to do, as you know from my last video, is we want to try to shake them off. Now, a little more technical term of that is called challenging a credit item, okay, or disputing a credit item. Here's the deal. Every reporting agency is under obligation to make sure that what is on your credit report is accurate. So if you see something on your report that you don't totally understand, you don't recognize it, which can happen a lot because if a creditor sells an old account to a collections agency or something, you don't know the name of that collections agency. It seems weird to you. Maybe the account seems weird to you. Maybe you do remember it, but it seems like it was way past 7 years ago. If anything smells fishy, you have the right to challenge that item. And so this is how it works. It doesn't cost anything. You just simply write a letter to the Credit Reporting Bureau. Remember, there's 3 of them, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, as we covered earlier. You write them a letter, and the address you need to use is in my book, but I'm also going to include it in the notes below. And what you're going to do is simply say this. Dear, let's say it's Experian, I do not recognize or acknowledge the following items that appear on my credit report. Number 1, ABC debt, whatever. Number 2, Ian's House of Furniture. And C, Collections R Us Incorporated. Please have them removed as soon as possible. Thank you for your attention. Signed, your name. And you want to include your full name and your full current address and your social security number. Why don't you care that they have your social security number? Because they already have it. They already have it, guys. So Just include it. That helps them match you up in case you have a name that's similar. And a couple things on that. Can you do these disputes online? Probably. I wouldn't do it. That's not what I did. And I'm going to teach you exactly what I did. I wrote an actual letter with an envelope and a stamp. And by sending it in snail mail, what you are doing is you're forcing an actual human being to help you. There aren't any algorithms or machines that can open up a letter yet and actually read and file something. It takes a human being at least for the next little while until they invent that type of robot. So you're guaranteeing that a human being is going to be dealing with you. Now, that being said, you also want to limit every letter to only include 3 items that you are disputing. If you're sending in a laundry list of everything on your credit file, they're going to know you're just seeing what sticks. You're just shotgunning, fishing, just seeing if you can get anything at all knocked off. That they might just set that aside as a frivolous inquiry or dispute. You want a human being to look at it, understand it, and go, okay, these 3 items, we need to look into this. So what happens at that point is that the bureau sends word to that creditor that's reporting in and asks them to verify and prove that this item is legitimate and belongs to you. Not someone close to you that has your name, and not someone that it shouldn't be, but it really belongs to you. They have 30 days to do that. If they can't do it to the satisfaction of that credit agency, the item gets removed. We have shaken it off. That's awesome. And it works a lot. There's a lot of bad bookkeeping out there. There's a lot of companies that aren't around anymore, collections agencies that can't prove things. There's a lot of just flat errors. There's a lot of things that don't belong on your file. It's worth trying, especially if you don't recognize the item legitimately. I'm not going to tell you, oh, just try it on everything and see. If you know it's yours and it seems accurate and it makes sense, I'm not going to tell you to try to dispute it. This is for things that you genuinely don't understand, or the amount doesn't seem right, or there's something about it that's a little fishy. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is simply shake it off. Now, something to keep in mind, you have to write one of these letters to each of the 3 bureaus that have that item appearing on their report. So if it's on Experian, if it's on TransUnion, and if it's on Equifax, then I would send a letter to all 3 separately. So 3 stamps involved, okay? So then what happens? You send off this letter, and what's next? You sit and you wait and you watch the mailbox. And in about 30 days or a little less or a little more, you're going to get a letter back. And it's going to say, Dear so-and-so, we received your inquiry. The following items were not verified and therefore removed. Duk, duk, duk. And you're like, woo, all right, those are done. Make sure that the other 2 bureaus agree with them and follow it through. Okay, this is bureau by bureau. Or you'll get a letter that says, the following items have been verified and have not been removed. Okay, so we didn't win that one. So that's kind of the process, all right? That's just step 1. Shake it off. Look at what looks fishy on your report. Write a letter. Wait 30 days, see what happens. That's it. It's really pretty simple. And that's why I believe credit repair actually doesn't take that long. It maybe takes 20 minutes a month once you get going. I'm skipping ahead a little bit on that, but now you can see. You just fire off some letters. You wait for a response. Now, if you had more than 3, now send the new letter with the new 3 on them and just keep that going. So, not everything's going to shake off that easy. Some will. Not everything will. What do we do with the ones that remain? And that is going to be the topic of my next video. It's called Let's Make a Deal. It coincides with the chapter in my book, winningwithcredit.com, and you can go to winningwithcredit.com. The book is called Winning with Credit. Winningwithcredit.com is the website. You're smart enough. You already knew that. And you can download the first half of my book for free. If this is the first video of mine you're seeing, I'd love for you to go over there, download it for free, first half. get to know my whole story up till now that my previous videos have brought everybody else up to, come join us. We're on our journey all the way. I moved my credit 200 points. You can too. I'm going to tell you everything I did. So thank you for letting me be part of your success, and I'll see you over at that website or in the next video. Thanks so much, and take care.